to Get Money Radio Show on WDRB Media and WGIV. And here's your host, Stevie G.
Hey, what's going on, folks? This is Stevie G, and you are on WGIV, the soul of Charlotte. Now, before we get into our guest today, we're going to talk a little bit about your accelerated wealth tip of the day. This can be your wealth strategy of the day. And so typically what I do is I want to help you guys at least find ways to save money, things like that. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about how there's some that love to save money. They love to maximize their investments. They either put a lot into their IRAs or their 401ks, but there's other ways to actually save your money and maybe benefit in the future as well. So maybe you might want to think about high cash value life insurance policies. So beyond the benefits of a death benefit, what it can do is a well-structured policy can provide years of tax-free income in retirement, maybe fund a college education, or even be a tool to finance major purchases without having to step foot in a bank. So that is your strategy of the day, brought to you by Accelerated Wealth. If you need any types of services from them, make sure you give them a call at 704-604-8884. And you can go to the website, acceleratedwealth.com. All right, so let's go into our show for today. We have two guests here, guests that probably know a lot about numbers, save people from IRS bills that come in the mail. Right? Am I right about that?
Yes.
So please welcome to the show, Brian and Ann from Daniel Ratliff and Company. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys coming in. Oh, yeah. No problem at all. So I know that we're in the same BNI group, and we've never had personally met. We've talked on through email. So yes. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, Brian, because, we haven't really talked too much, but, where are you from?
Originally from New York, moved here in 1997. Started with an accounting firm. Started an accounting firm in 1997. It was Gluberman, Spear, Shepard, Menaker, and started the accounting department.
Oh.
And then
that's a funny name. Okay.
Yes, a long name. It was a long name to give out all the time. And then back, I think it was about 2002 or so, we got bought out by Grant Thornton, so I went to work for them for a while.
And that's a big company.
Yes, and but I worked mostly small business.
Okay.
So my clients, we ended up coming over to Daniel Ratliff in 2005.
Awesome. And how about you?
Well, I'm from the D.C. area, and I moved here to Charlotte. When I was in the D.C. area, I actually worked for a tax software company, so I spent a lot of time over at the IRS. And but then when we came down here, I went to work for a CPA firm in the area, and then in 2009, I went to work for Daniel Ratliff and became a shareholder there, and been loving it ever since.
Awesome. So you say you're from D.C., so am I. I was
Cool.
born in D.C., raised in Alexandria, Virginia.
That's where we live.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah, going down to Old Town?
Yes, I know Old Town. Now, I live close to Mount Vernon. So
okay, I lived
right
over
where George Washington used to
close
live.
to the Beltway.
Close to the Beltway. So, okay, I got you. I know exactly where you're at. Is it where the Beltway meets Woodrow Wilson Bridge? Oh, I'm assuming, right?
No, I was closer to down the mix around Van Dorn, Franconia.
Ooh, Franconia, Springfield.
Yes.
Ooh, I feel so bad for you.
I know.
Oh,
it was terrible.
So when's the last time you've been back?
I actually went back about 3 years ago.
Okay.
My daughter was still living up in the area, and we went up and visited her.
Okay.
And I realized I don't miss the traffic at all.
Now, when's the last time you've been inside Springfield Mall?
Oh, that's probably been 15 years.
I don't blame you. I remember how bad it was.
Yes.
You know they fixed it up, right?
No, I didn't.
It's totally new. Now they call it, I think, Springfield Town Center or something like that. So they made it a little more fancier. They've done a pretty good job for what they've been handed over to.
Okay.
Because it was such a
it was bad
kind of mall. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So going back to you guys. All right. Okay. So tell me this. Not a lot of people love to say, "Hey, when I grow up, I'm going to be a CPA, or I'm going to deal with taxes, or I'm going to do those types of things." Or I love to do 1040 all day long. What made you get into this, Brian?
Well, my mother was a bookkeeper, so
Okay.
I knew the industry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that was your draw just from her? Is that pretty much how that was?
Yeah, I mean, good friends of ours had an accounting firm growing up, so I mean, I just wanted something that profession.
Yeah.
Where I didn't really have to worry about a job. Hopefully down the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
everyone needs a CPA.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
You, Ann?
Well, basically in high school, in my junior year, I had thought about going into medicine. I was going to save the world. And after working at the hospital for a year, I decided this was not what I wanted to do. And I needed one more class for my senior year. And my counselor recommended that I take bookkeeping because I kept bouncing checks in my checking account. I couldn't reconcile it. And so by Thanksgiving, I really loved it, and I knew this was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Awesome. So you guys said that you guys are from different areas. You moved here, and then you ended up being with Ratliff now. How does Ratliff compare to the other places that you guys have worked for?
Well, I mean, we specialize in that growing small business, and client service is what we stress, and I think we do a good job of that. We have an accounting department that specializes just in helping our clients, educating them on their financials, and helping them grow their business.
Awesome.
So
that's really cool. As far as with this type of industry, how do you stand out? Because there's a lot. There's ones that focus seasonally when it comes to just tax season before April 15th. But I know you've talked about doing things for corporate taxes as well too. Yeah. But how do you guys pretty much stand out from the rest?
Well, I think it's the fact that we really do love our clients. We care about them. We want to help them. We encourage them to actually call us, to send us emails, to give us phone calls, and we try very, very hard to return those messages within 24 hours. And we are very proactive with our clients. We try to let them know about tax law changes, things they can do to save money, and we will take them out to lunch. It's amazing what you can find out that's going on with your client when you just go out and have a cup of coffee with them or have lunch and say, what's going on? And they'll start talking, and I can go, oh, there's a new tax law credit that we can use for that. So we try to be very proactive, not just to sit in our offices and wait for our clients to call us. We try to get out there and work with them and be their business partner.
Awesome. So as far as tax laws, how often do tax laws change? Do they change every year?
Yes. There's always a change at some point during the year. Some years are more than other years. Some years are a little crazier, like last year. Tax laws changed on December the 19th, and we were scrambling because they became retroactive to the first of the year. So it varies. Last year we had a lot of changes for North Carolina. A lot of years we haven't. This year we haven't had any changes for North Carolina. So it varies. Usually, I'll be honest with you, in an election year you'll have very few changes, just because it's an election year. But usually, in other years we can actually have a lot of changes.
When the changes do happen, do they send you an email? Do they give you a phone call? How do you find out what the new tax laws are?
Well, we try to definitely keep up to date on everything. I personally receive 5 electronic newsletters a day that tell me what's going on with Congress, with North Carolina. We take CPE courses to stay abreast. We network with other CPA firms. I have friends that work in other CPA firms. We share information. So it's just a combination of things that we are involved in. We have we have research software in our office so that if something is changing, we can actually go and read the law.
Tell me that about pretty much some of the clients that you may have, and you don't have to give specifics, but some of the I know we were meeting the other week. You were saying, I can't believe this guy is still in business because he didn't keep himself organized. Just give us some examples of some people that you might have run into, maybe you don't deal with now, but some of the messes that you've had to clean up.
Well, you have messes when it comes to the accounting where people don't keep their books at all. Then you got to go in there and get them caught up and clean up. Then you got people who just don't pay their taxes, and they come in and you got hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxes they might owe, and it's you try.
Then, okay, so then how does that work out? They get a bill of $100,000. Okay, they're pulling a Wesley Snipes, okay, and they got this huge bill. How do they take care of it? Are they planning on doing an installment payment with the IRS, or are they figuring, let me just go ahead and pay this amount now fully? How do you?
I'll let Ann. Yeah, she deals
Okay.
with this a lot.
It varies. A lot of times when they owe that much money, they don't have the ability just to write a check for a couple $100,000. So we work with the IRS or North Carolina. IRS will actually let them spread out the monies that they owe if it's income taxes over 72 months. If it's payroll taxes, that's a whole different story. But if it's income taxes, we can actually set up an installment arrangement, and they just have monthly payments that they make. So usually we can negotiate something, and then I don't do offer and compromises, but I know CPAs in the area that do those, and because that's very specialized, and so if someone wants to do an offer and compromise, I will coordinate with someone in the area that can help us with that also. So there's a lot of different things. Usually the IRS will work with you because at the end of the day they would like their money, so it's beneficial to them to try to work out something with you. And North Carolina will work with you, but they won't give you as longer payment terms.
Okay. Now tell us this. Tell us the average person, whether they're self-employed, whether they own a home, and they want to take advantage of tax write-offs. A lot of people give you all kinds of theories, all kinds of urban legends, what you can write off. But tell us, how can an average person make sure they get the benefits of everything that they buy, purchase, everything? How do they do that?
Well, your business person, we basically work with them. First of all, Brian will, and his group will work with them to make sure they have good accounting records, because we definitely want to account for all the expenses, mileage, make sure we're taking advantage of health insurance for the owners, that type of thing. And then on my side of the office, we're looking at the tax returns. We're trying to make sure they're taking advantage of all the tax laws. There's a few loopholes they could take advantage of with, like, maybe tuition credits, that type of thing. So we, Brian and I, our departments work together hand in hand with our business owners, because he's looking at the books in depth. I'm looking at them from the tax law side of it, and that way we can definitely maximize the benefits for the client, because my goal, and Brian's too, is that our clients pay their taxes, but we don't want them to pay $1 more than they're legally liable for.
Okay. So then what happens, let's say somebody wants to take advantage of a little bit more write-offs, how can you justify clothing? Like, let's say you're buying a suit for your business. Could that be a write-off? And how? Oh, you're shaking your head already. Okay. So what's the answer to that?
No.
Okay.
If you can take that piece of clothing and wear it down the street, it is not a write-off.
It's not a write-off. How about travel?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you can have travel if you're as far as traveling to for your business. You can have uniforms if you have uniforms in your business, and cleaning those uniforms can be deductible. So anything that's business related, always ask your accountant. Is this deductible? And they'll tell you whether it's deductible or not. If it's personally related, if it's for something personal, most likely then it's not deductible.
So then you're telling me that, okay, no, I'm sorry, Ann, go ahead.
Well, one thing too, so many business owners don't keep up with their mileage, and at 56 cents a mile, that can definitely add up. So all they need is some type of mileage logbook. Give them to all of our clients. So we try to stress to them, make sure and keep up with those little things.
The big thing is to keep receipts. You have to keep receipts for everything. Just having the credit card statement is not good enough to substantiate to the IRS.
Thanks for telling me that, because my wife was going to just keep that statement and that's it.
No, you have to
keep
have the backup
receipts.
also, yes. Yeah.
Okay, I hope my wife is going to listen to this show. She needs to keep the receipts also, and I will let her know. So, okay, so how about, so when you're traveling, you said as long as it's for business or is business related, let's say you go for business and pleasure, how much can you write off? The whole thing?
No, usually you want to prorate it.
Okay.
So you look at the time that you're spending as business, the time you're spending as pleasure, what's necessary for business, such as if you're taking seminars, if you're taking the client out for lunch, that type of thing. As far as hotels, we usually prorate that. So we dissect it a little bit and try to determine what is really for pleasure and what is directly business.
And sometimes it's both. I've heard CEOs taking out other clients out to clubs, lounges, entertainment, buy them alcohol, buy tables for the night, and they're writing that off. So is that meals and entertainment can apply? Is that right?
If they are talking about business during that time, it is a write-off. And that type of write-off is only write-off for 50% of it. So it's not a 100% write-off.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so we talked about tax laws. We talked about how people get large amounts of money that they have to pay back to the IRS. Do you guys like numbers?
Yes.
You love numbers?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy looking at a financial statement of a company and figuring it out, explaining to them, how their business looks and how they can try to, grow their business. Okay. So,
was that your talent, your gift that you had? Do you think you were good at math when you were in school, or yeah?
I was always good at math.
I was good at math.
You were good at math, and you were good at math too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, were you in some type of math club when you were in school? No,
I don't remember much of my childhood. I don't know.
Okay. Now, do you think it's important for kids to continue to stick with math? Because people always say in school, I remember they say, you're not going to use this. You're not going to use algebra in the real life. You're not going to use geometry in the real life. But what can you say about that?
So my son's not good in math, and
Okay.
but he's learning that now he's out in the real world. At least you have to understand some of the the right change back, and and learn a little about what you're going to use at least in real life. Now in college, as far as taking class, he wants to take the minimum math class and get out, and not worry about math in his college. But that's not his strong point. Writing is his strong point. So everyone has their strong points, and you work with your strong points.
So where does he want to take himself with the writing?
He wants to go into journalism.
Okay.
So we'll see. He's journalism and sports. He loves sports. So we'll see.
That's really fun. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would take that job
Yeah.
myself too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So now you have kids too?
I
right?
do have. I had 3 children.
3 children. And then Brian, I'm sorry, I didn't ask.
I have
How many?
2.
You have 2.
2.
You have a son
and a daughter.
And a daughter. Okay, so what does she want to do?
She wants to go into medicine.
She wants to go into medicine.
Yeah, so she's going into 11th grade now.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. And your kids, where, age-wise, what are they now?
Well, I better not tell you about my oldest daughter. She'll shoot me.
Okay. Okay.
But she's actually married. She lives in the state of Washington, and she's a controller for a hospital. She swore she never wanted to be an accountant, and then that's exactly what she ended up being. My middle daughter is a history teacher just outside of Durham. And then my son is a journalism major at the same college that Brian's is.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
And he wants to go into sports journalism, and he actually was able to have an internship with the Hornets this summer.
Oh, that's awesome. How did he end up doing that? Did he,
He
apply
applied.
for it? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Pretty cool. Well, that's going to take him somewhere really nice. That's awesome.
I hope so. I hope he gets a job when he graduates this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so tell me a little bit about how. Well, I think you've already explained a little bit about Daniel Ratliff and when you started working for them. Now, how long again did you have you been working with him?
I've been to Daniel Ratliff since 2005.
Okay. Now, tell us about the name and kind of the history of the company.
Debbie Daniel and John Ratliff actually started the company back in 1997, I think it was around. And they retired 3 years ago, and now the owners of the company are Ann, myself, and Matt Miller.
Okay. So when did they start the company?
Well, I mean, Debbie Daniel and John Ratliff started in 1997.
1997, okay.
Yeah. And then we became partners about 5 years ago, and then they retired, and we took over the rest of the company.
Well, that's nice for them.
Yeah.
So then what are they doing
pretty
now?
Nice. They're in Montana now.
They're
doing some fly fishing.
Wow, that's. I tell my wife every day I want to go to Montana so bad, and she's like, "Why? There's bears. There's all kinds of wildlife there. How can you?" And she's like, "You're scared of bugs. How can you survive there?" Let me tell you something. It's gorgeous. From the pictures that I see, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Have you been there before?
I have not, and they keep asking us to come visit, but.
I haven't either, but it's supposed to be beautiful. They live near a lake. It's supposed to be gorgeous.
Well, then give me their phone number. I'll make sure I give them a call.
It is cold during the winter.
Absolutely. Well, let's do this, guys. I knew that you guys were coming in, that you guys like numbers. We're going to have a little contest, okay? We're going to have a contest, and Fit's going to play along as well, too. Okay, Fit?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because between my 4 years of high school and your 4 years of high school, that equals a college education. All right.
He's an associate.
Exactly. Okay. I printed out a couple of problems. 3 algebra formulas, okay, and then 3 word problems, okay. So this is what we're gonna do. Since you girls were talking smack earlier, girl power, it's gonna be me and Brian against you two, okay. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Now we're gonna look over these, and oh my word, okay. Are you ready?
I guess.
Come on, Brian, we gotta be ready. Okay, so let's do this. Let me grab a pen. Hold on. All right. Here we go. You guys finish at least these 3.
28.
These 3. Okay, so are you ready, Fit? We're gonna count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Come on. What you got? You sure about that, Brian? Are you sure? No, they're not there. I would say these first, right? And then that last, right? 30?
No.
Okay.
You're saying 15 divided by 6 would be 3.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's stop. You ready? Are you ready yet? Are you ready, Ann?
Oh.
You finished the first one? Let's just do the first one for now.
Oh,
You finished
okay.
the first one?
Yeah, we're working on the third one.
Oh, wow, dude. Girl power here.
Oh my, Brian, what's wrong with you,
I
Brian?
don't know.
Oh my word. Okay. You have 5 seconds, Brian, to finish these 2 up. Come on, hurry up. Ready? Let's go. Come on. What we got here? What we got, Brian? Let's go.
I feel like I'm in school here.
That's right.
I know.
I'm gonna whack your knuckles if you don't get these right. I'm telling you. Come on now. Come on, Brian. Let's do this. What we got?
Let's do this. It looks like we're just watching.
Y'all, yeah, you guys are watching. You're already on the word problems already. Come on now. We are watching. That's true. You're right.
Can I cheat a little here?
I'm like, she's good. She's running through this.
Oh my word. Okay, Ann, you got us on this one. Oh my
You gotta remember
goodness.
she's a teacher here.
Oh, you were a teacher, huh?
I was a college professor for 5 years.
Algebra here.
Brian,
He asked me a financial statement.
that's it. That's the last time I have
Ask
you
me
on
a
this
financial
show.
statement.
That is it. Okay, so we're gonna go with. Okay, so now let's
How much
move.
cash is in the bank? I know that.
Look, I'm gonna give. Ann has 3 points. Okay. Brian.
What did you get there? 2?
I got
Brian
2, yeah.
0.
You do multiplication first, and then you do the division.
Right.
Wow, I told you, Brian.
6 divided by 12 is
6. Oh, I didn't see that over
Yeah, she didn't
there.
see that part. See,
Oh.
that's why she went so fast.
Okay, so 2 points for Ann, 1 point for Brian. All right, perfect. Well, you got 0 for this one.
Oh yeah, that one's too long to think
That
about.
was too long, huh? And then,
I'm not thinking about that one.
and then for the
Let me see
last
what
one, you
did
got
on that
18.
one.
What'd you get for the
What
last
did you get
one?
on that one?
36.
-4.
-4.
So -9, then you got-
multiply those together and become a
And
positive.
how about the 8 times the 9 now?
No, you got,
you got 8, yes, you get
four,
-4.
-4 times the -9,
36.
36. Minus the 6 is, but a minus and a minus and a minus is a plus. So it
So I
has
can
to be
do it with her.
42.
You know, both of y'all failed. I'm sorry.
Where's the calculator? That's what I was
All right,
like.
I'm going to go with my son to school.
All right, so I'm gonna read you guys this word problem. See if you can get it with your head. A large box contains 18 small boxes, and each small box contains 25 chocolate bars. How many chocolate bars are in the large box? What you got? What you got?
18 small boxes. Each small box is 25 times 18. How many chocolate boxes are in the large box?
What we got, Ann? What you got over there?
Copy.
Nothing yet. What you got? I might have to go online and check these answers again. I forgot to print out the answers to these. Make sure you guys are.
I didn't know I was
I
going to
have to.
I didn't know I was going to have to think here.
I'm terrible.
I think all day long.
We agreed.
You agree?
We agreed.
480.
See, and I didn't have to do a multiplication like that. I just did it right in my head. See that?
Wow.
That's a 50.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
450. Okay. Next, it takes John 25 minutes to walk to the car park and 45 to drive to work. At what time should he get out of the house in order to get to work at 9 a.m.?
Yeah,
Man.
these word problems.
All
I told you, I'm a problem solver.
Yeah, awesome. Let's make this last one here. A factory produced 2,300 TV sets in its first year of production. 4,500 sets were produced in its second year, and 500 more sets were produced in its third year than in its second year. How many TV sets were produced in 3 years? Well, Fit, you do it if it's so simple. You know what you... That's all you count as money.
6,800 and 5,000 would be 11,800.
I knew you
Give me
guys
the
were
word
good.
problems all day long.
I knew you were good. You guys are awesome. You guys are so awesome. That's perfect.
That's why they make all the money.
That is perfect. Okay, so thank you for playing our game. You know that these are
Second
these
part
are
was fun. First part I didn't like.
these word problems.
We won.
Oh, you guys.
We won.
Okay, girls, you won. Yes. Those word problems were 5th grade word problems.
So glad I'm on that.
Exactly. So now going back to you guys. Tell us the types of jobs that you had when you were young. When you were young,
I had a paper route.
you had a paper route.
And I worked at a shoe store, Kinney's Shoes.
I remember Kenny's shoes.
Yeah.
You remember Kenny's, right? You remember Kenny's? Oh my god.
And then, then in college also I worked at 7-Eleven at night a lot.
Really?
So that was fun. 7-Eleven.
And why was that fun?
Oh, you had all the kids coming in and everything. You're in college, and had a lot of Slurpees and
That's
all
right.
that, and it was fun.
Now,
It was
did
a
you
good
eat those
time.
nasty hot dogs that kept rolling all day long?
Enjoyed those too. Yeah, I
those too?
still got a 7-Eleven.
Okay, let me
at
test
times
you.
now.
Did you have any of those beef patties there? Those yellow beef patties, those Jamaican beef patties. Were they there when you were working there?
I don't remember those.
How about taquitos? Were taquitos there when you were there?
No.
you remember taquitos? Man, they
I
have
love those
pizza there and
now.
everything. Yeah, they have those now. Okay, so 7-Eleven, paper route. Anything else that you did when you were young?
That was pretty much it.
That was it,
I mean,
huh?
it was enough.
That was enough. Okay, how about you, Ann? What'd you do?
When I was 16, I was able to go to work for a big rental. I'm sorry. Oh, shoot. Sold goods. My mind just went blank. Anyway, I worked for this big store.
Okay.
And we sold merchandise.
See what those word
And-
problems do?
Yeah, I know. And
She was in retail.
thank you.
There you go.
And so I went to work for them when I was 16, and when I was 17, they found out that I wanted to be an accounting major, and they actually moved me to the business office. And I worked there until I graduated from college. And so that it was really very cool because they were a huge corporation, and so I was actually getting the best of both worlds. I was getting the academia from my classes, and then I was actually in the real world doing accounting work.
Last question. Do you think CPA is a dying field?
I'll let you answer that.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. In fact, there's a big concern in our profession that we are not bringing in enough individuals to continue the profession. It's very hard. You have to have 5 years of college. You have to pass the CPA exam, which is very difficult. And so many of the CPAs are getting closer and closer to retirement age. And in the city of Charlotte, the last time I heard, the unemployment rate among accountants and CPAs is 2%. So there's a lot of work now with the IRS for corporate accounting, different things in the area of accounting, and there's not enough people. So hopefully, more people will see that and realize that you can get great jobs in this field, and you can do a lot with the degree. You can teach, you can be in corporate accounting, you can be in public accounting. So there's so much that you can do with it. So the biggest thing is that we can't find enough people to do the work.
Yeah, and that's what I really meant was if people were really flocking to it and making sure that they're applying this job and everything like that. So Fitz telling me 1 more minute. Okay, I got 1 minute. All right, perfect. No, okay, so guys, before we end, tell us how people can reach you.
Basically, we're located in the downtown Charlotte area. Our office number is 704-371-5000. And if you call there and ask for Brian and Ann, they will find us.
Awesome. Had a good time, guys. Thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Now, before we close out the show, wanted to make sure that we thank our sponsors for the show. Of course, one of them is Accelerated Wealth, and also to Jennifer Masangi from Omni Wellness Center. And here's the thing about her. She has really helped me as far as, if you guys knew me back in 2009, I could barely walk, and she helped me with the process of really getting healthy again. So make sure you give her a call at 704-451-3152, and you can visit her website at omniwellnesscenter.com. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure you tune in every Tuesday to the show, and I'm out.